his thicker, curly, like wave. I want something to weigh it down before I cut it. If I just shampoo it, it'll be very froed out. So even when I start finding the perfect part of his widow's peak, I just comb the hair back and I let it find its own natural parting. But I go off the widest part of the widow's peak. An easy, nice way to make a straight, super straight, perfect, clean line. And you want to keep everything as straight as you can from the beginning. Clip it all the way. Let me grab a finer tooth comb. I'll push it back. And I'll look for the gap. And I want to go with his natural parting. If I fight against it, it's going to be a problem for him later when he's trying to style his hair. So I want to keep it as easy as I can for him too. In the beginning, I just want to get rid of so much bulk. So I'm just going to take a tube and I'm going to go up above his parietal about an inch, almost to the recession, using a comb, maintaining that weight balance without pushing it too high up. Here's just a two, all the way. And right here where he gets these cowlicks by the neck, go in every direction. Push gears down if you have to. Go down if you have to with it. All right, now I'm gonna do clipper over comb. I'm gonna use my Motive Pro comb. I'm using my Magic Clip, Walls, lightest, best clippers. And now I'm gonna go off his parietal, just where I was ramping, where I left that weight line, before I do the next fade. I'm just gonna get rid of all this. And I'm using the parietal bone right there. I can go in and round in and chop that all off, but I wanna create that wedge and that weight line, so I go off his head structure, so it looks good on him. And always turn your clippers on and off, don't just let them run. That's how they get hot. You need to spray them, disinfect them between every single client. So now we're keeping the guard closed so far the whole way. Closed, the teeth are close together. I'm gonna throw a half on. I'm gonna start with a half, I might zero it out. So even as I take this, I'll brush down, and I'll go right underneath little half inch. And I figured out like a rhythm, a bouncing rhythmic pattern where I won't go too high up above it. So get your dexterity down with your tools, whatever you're using, shears, use them till it feels like it's part of your hand. So this is gonna be my first baseline, and I wanna hit it in every direction. I know he has a super strong wave, almost a curl. So I know right when that comes out of the follicle, the hair just wants to start twisting. And you want to make your line as straight as possible. I'm going to erase that line anyways, but I need a guide for it. Bristle brush always in between cuts. So I'm switching. Then I'm going to throw on a 1.5. A little half inch above it. I'm actually going to do it back with a half. So instead of it being closed now, and I'll get all these little corners behind the ear after with my trimmers, but you want to make sure you hit all of them. So now I'll open it, which now makes it technically a 1 closed, but this is still a half guard. So I'll do the half guard, I'll open it, and I'll go a tiny bit above it, just to start eliminating that line. See, it starts blurring that out a little bit. Think of your clippers like an eraser in a sense. This is a 1 open now, which is like a closed 1.5, and I'm going just a little above that. Now back to my half. And whenever I'm not sure, you open the lever all the way, which brings you back to the 1. And then I'll tap that. Close it a little bit. Hit it and listen for it. Close it all the way, open it a little bit. Use your mirror too. Open it again. I'm gonna throw on my 1. And always reopen it. Close it a little. Open it again. And now I'm just visually seeing where it's dark or where it's not, where there's spots. Close it a little. Think of your lever of having about 5 different levels. And then close it a little. So there's all the way open, middle, all the way closed, and then there's almost all the way closed, and then there's almost all the way open. And then once I start getting to the top wedge, I'll start going softer. and I'll listen for it. And start looking into your mirror, seeing if that's coming out good, the way you like it. And if it ever starts rattling, a tiny bit, these are so upkept and tuned in, sometimes too much hair gets in them. So I like to brush the actual blades and the actual guards. This is a 1.5 open, so I'll go take it a little higher, which makes it a 2. And I always tend to want to be the back a little bit together. I just hate when it's a big block in the back because the back of the head tends to be more squarish than anything. Very few people have a very perfectly narrow back of their heads. You can have a narrow face, but not a narrow back of your head. Put the half back on, brush it out of the way. Sometimes there's little hairs that just get stuck beneath it and they're already gone and all you had to do was brush it versus trying to keep cutting it. This is just that half again. Just going over the work I just did. And now I'm lightly just scooping it, just almost like cross-checking it. That was open, I'm gonna throw the 1 on. And I know I'm gonna blur out that line, so I don't wanna go too above that 1.5 I put. So I give myself that line above to blur out those little dents in there. Close it a little bit, almost halfway, all the way. And I'm almost like going in, but I'm scraping down with it because I don't want to push on it too hard. Hold your clippers a lot. The more you cut hair, you can watch as many videos as you want, but until you do these 1,000 times, you will not understand. I can give these videos away. I can teach you guys exactly how I do this. That's the goal for today, to teach you guys exactly how I do my cuts. But try to do it like after 1, you won't get it. It's impossible. This took me 1,000 cuts to get it this accurate. Dexterity is so important. It's like if you went with Kobe Bryant. If I give you 3 days with Kobe Bryant, a whole weekend I'm just shooting with Kobe Bryant. By the end of the weekend, the Lakers aren't gonna pick you up and you're not gonna be a professional basketball player. And again, even from Freddie Rizzo, like I learned that, you listen for it. Good barbers can just hear it. This is still cutting. When music gets too loud, sometimes I'm like, everybody turn it down. After this, we're about to do scissor over comb. So now I did that with a half closed. I had all this cleaned up. Now I'm gonna open it and I'm just gonna go a little bit above that. And I won't have to use my corners that much. I am using my corners when I round something on the head, but other than that, I don't really want to that much. So I'd rather get it on the first try. Close it a little bit. Just erasing lines. You wanna use your mirror to give yourself 6 feet of distance. So you're looking sick. Clip over comb this side real quick. Same thing, going off his parietal, scooping it back, almost like a half pipe. I look for what scoops out, and I keep it light and I use his head structure. I don't put too much tension, and I try to keep the same tension throughout the whole clip over comb part. When you change tension, that's where you stamp stuff in, and I'll cross-check his hair again, just because he has such a strong wave, that when his hair dries, it's short, like wet. When hair is super wet and it's super wavy, it looks super long. And then when it dries, it shortens up a ton. So I'll throw on a 1, I'll open it, and I'll listen for it. Close it a tiny bit. Open it again, which makes it a 2. Turn it straight up a little. Close it a little. Always reopen it and listen for it. Recheck. I see where his hair is drying out now. Scoop in, still ramping off his head. And when I cut in, I almost slide out. I could have rounded that in. I could have rounded this in all the way here, but I want to create that wedge because I tell everybody, I always want to keep the front of his hair strong. I want him to have that usage without it bothering him. So when you have that much, you need almost scissor over comb to build that straight wall up. So since his hair is drying up right now, and I still want the same moisture in it. I don't want half of them wet, half of them dry. Now I'm gonna use my shorter blade. This was my 6.5 Mizutani shear, just to power through longer pieces of hair, more weight. So now that I want more precision, I'm gonna use my 5-inch, also Mizutani. I'm gonna keep everything sectioned. This is gonna be more like Sassoon style cutting, just more section by section, a little bit more precision, but still point cutting. So I'll bring his bangs to start my base. Since I'm still doing a straight line, I'll bring it, I'll let the comb go forward, then I grip it. And if I blunt cut his hair, it'll look so heavy and thick. Next section. I won't do more than 3 sections on the front bangs. section. This there's no way that'll reach past that. I already know that visually. Once you practice these techniques, it becomes mechanical already. So you don't have to worry about it. So now I'll bring it, and you can see my guide right there. And I tell you, put the blade the same way as it. If you cut hair like this, it's gonna take out less bulk. This is gonna thin it out and notch it more. If I turn my blade sideways, it's gonna be a heavier blunt cut. It's gonna take out more. And if I cut it this way, it's gonna cut it all completely heavy and squared. And always when I'm going in, you'll see me dig in and I cut on the way out. I never chop in. I always go in and I always cut on the way out. So I'll bring it all the same direction, let the comb go through first, then I'll start rounding with the side of the head. Where I don't want a big overlaying bob of long hair, I want it to be tucked in. So I'll go in, saving the length. Here's the longest piece. And I'll tuck it shorter. Now finger positioning, the way my fingers are positioned matters now. You see how I just slowly tuck that? Instead of it being all long, I went from longest to shortest now. So now when he combs it, it'll be easy for it to tuck back and layers will sit back. Take the back right off the head shape right here. And when they have super wavy hair, continue to comb it down so you can see where the weight line is. And when the head rounds, you're allowed to round as well. And what I mean by that is just right here where the head starts to round back to the side. I'm gonna bring that front and look, here's the longest piece, it's falling out. So I know that this all can be shorter than that. See, I take the comb, I scoop it, I let the comb come through, then I almost put the tension. I don't wanna come with it at the same time or I won't grab anything, I won't see what I'm grabbing. This point of your head's lower than this point of your head. So when hair grows, it grows in this manner, but every guy's head should go from longest to shortest. Even if you're wearing it down and messy, you want volume here and texture, or if you want to push it all the way back, you want the layers to sit. So now scoop all the hair into the middle, and if you comb into one section, finish it in that section. And by that I mean, if I'm scooping it from this way, I'm going to finish scooping it from that way. You won't see me try to bring them together. And even from the front, I'll take it, bring it straight up. I'll point cut the middle, and I'm going to U the ends. Now I want the longest pieces on the sides. I want the inside to bevel a bit. And by bevel, I mean, I want him to, if he throws his hair this way, I want little layers underneath to stack on this. If he throws his hair this way, same thing, I want shorter layers to stack on that. And that helps build volume. So much about this is maintenance. It's making it easier for him to stack this. I know I can stuck this and cut this and style this, just where it'll look sick, but if I don't cut it right, he's gonna go home and have the hardest time tomorrow morning. Then I'll bring everything out. I'll comb it all the same way. Bring it straight it out. And now I'm just dusting the ends. I already know I put that shape in there. I'm just looking for anything to hang over. And the only reason I don't do a blunt cut there and I kind of like saw it off is just because I want it to be a little bit textured. It just softens my line without making a new, stronger line. It's almost like using your corners on your shears. On your clippers. The more I bring it back, the longer it stays in the front. I still see that wedge. We're gonna blow dry it now. And I'm gonna finish the rest of the cup while it's completely dry. Oh yeah, and the only part that I forgot to do was this front weight line. When the head dips down right here, you almost build like a turtle shell of weight right here. So you have to bring that part out straight from the head. And I bring it straight out, and you see that? That's where that corner is. So I'll just point cut that just to soften straight up, right from the head. In the beginning, you have to be very precise. Eventually, it will become mechanical for you, and it will become easier. And when you want to do sections, I always put my thumb on the back of the comb just to make that line super straight. There's my guide. But you see, I'm not even hitting any of that anymore. It's just me bringing it up, and it's just the weight now. That around it. So you're using Paul Mitchell Super Skinny Serum. He's got a ton of hair. I don't want to get 3 solid pumps. I'm still gonna wedge out a little bit of that weight line in a second, but now I'm gonna dry it. Now it's gonna be all heat and tension. His hair dries up really fast, so I'm gonna get right to it. And I'm gonna start putting heat and tension on it. And now because I sectioned it in the right spots, it's gonna be pretty easy for me to see. It's gonna be very easy to distinct what's supposed to go where. What's supposed to go down, what's supposed to go up. See that I wrap it in backwards, and I keep it straight. Hair's fabric, like clothes. You wouldn't just put an iron on top of your clothes without it being stretched out, or you know you stamp a new wrinkle into it. So I stretch it out, and then I put the heat and tension. And I'll wrap it in every direction. So it's already soft tension, and then hard tension where I wrap it back, lock it, and put it in. And I'll do that right at the end. His hair wants to grow forward, I'm gonna push the whole thing back. And that's why things like vent brushes exist, to still maintain tension, but open up enough space for the heat and the air to go all the way through it. You can also just stand behind the person and just almost flat wrap it. If the hair's shorter, you can flat wrap the whole head. Just like that. Heat and tension, that's the main thing. As you notice, I'm just focusing on the roots. The roots is where all the control's at. And be patient. Bone fucking dry. One thing I love to talk about, if you touch your hair and there's still moisture in it, there's still temperature in there. The only way to eliminate moisture is just completely removing it, and that's the only way you get full control of your hair. Touch your hair and it's hot or cold, feel temperature in it, there's still moisture in it. Now I'm going to use my notching shears, which are technically, these are my Hattori Hanzo notching shears. I believe it has 11 or 13 teeth, but this takes out a ton of them. So with this, I can still scoop in. I can comb down, I can look for any little weight line. And I can almost soften it with just a few chops into it. And with these, you only have to do like 3 to 4 chops, sometimes just 2. These aren't thinning shears, these never go on the inside of hair. These are just always on the outside. And we'll just scrape this just a little. Here, since I want to diminish a deeper widow's peak, I'll just scrape the bottom of it. Where I could push his hair in front of his face, anything, and then just bring it right back. Now that it's fully blow dried, it wants to do what I want it to do. I'll just go right down the middle real fast, and I'll just hit any heavy corner, over directing it back to maintain that length in the front, where I still want my corners here to be the longest, and I want it to U in a bit. Alright, we're gonna use Paul Mitchell Tea Tree Shaping Cream. Got a ton of hair, so I can use about a nickel. And I always want to start with less. And before I put product in, I'll rake it through all the way once, just so there's no stamps. Like I said, I almost want all the fabric, all the texture of hair to go in the same direction. Then I'll emulsify it in my hands, almost warm it up, even in between my fingers so it sticks. And now I'm gonna go through it. And I want the inside of it to stick, to create shape and texture. We're almost there. Alright you guys, there we go. Xavier's final cut is before and after. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed some stuff, got something out of this, learned 1 or 2 techniques. Keep fucking geeking out. Alright, and there's the peak.